still there and somebody didn't move it on this. That's okay where it's at.
No, it's fine. I didn't
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that opened up either.
feel better putting it in there.
Yeah, that'll probably be better.
Now this will bite your face.
Okay. Be very careful with that. Okay. All right.
Okay, you turn the boots back around. You did?
You turn what around?
The boots back around. They were sitting out here and they were in, out, so I turned them all out, and then now somebody's turning them back in.
I didn't touch them.
I don't even. That's all right. I know this is probably about what you should know.
Right here. Oh. So he's hoping that when they come up, it'll be you, Keith, and Tim, and that you'll just hand them the proclamation. Tim's going to give them the red robe. Okay. But they're going to have them come up. They used to go out to one, but because they've got so many, and they're to go in and see the people. So that'll be right after, I believe. So you do your.
So after I do, I read the proclamation.
Yes. So you're
Then are they going to do like first name? Then they come up.
It says, yeah, reading of the name. George Smith Foundation. So I think it looks like makes me think that they're going to do. If Tim said it, we're going to redo the proclamation.
Okay.
You
So
just
do
sort of
I?
stay in the
Should I not read these names? Or
Oh no, that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
No, that's okay, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
And then they'll just call the families up,
Okay.
and then we're going to give them a statue, a rose, and a
They
proclamation.
want me to hand the
With Tim Ames. And he's changed. He tried to hook up with you before you had to get changed. He helped set up this meeting. So he should be out shortly. He said he wants you to sit here and big one so we can have little sets and
Okay. All right.
and he'll be there soon. But there will be they're going to really as well for many other people who just happen to have found not having to do that. And I just say key thing is hang on to your remarks if that wind gets up.
Yeah. We'll be chasing
This
it
is
around.
just a real bad spot for me. Kenny Hoover wanted to introduce himself.
Yeah, dude, I've seen you before. I'm Ken. Yes, sir. Archie. Yeah. They were going to introduce you to our little Archie, but he's in the back. I'll try to catch him. Station here in Nebraska. Just started this. Good guy. Asked him about playing for the San Diego Chargers. Football team. So he got tied. He got tied with the Chargers.
Do you know, did he go to Hastings College?
Nope. He's from California.
Oh, okay. I see.
Nebraska.
Okay, gentlemen, that's been announced with a hot mic.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Bill Aldis came up and introduced himself.
Attention, we're 5 minutes out. It is time to find a seat. Those that's participating in the ceremony this morning, please move up here to the reserved seats in front and go ahead and get settled in. We're 5 minutes out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are 2 minutes out. These aisles, left and right, will need to be made clear for the honor guards and families. It is now time to find your seat. 2 minutes. I'm making the announcement now. Okay, good morning. Would you please stand in honor of the family members of those being recognized as a line of duty are escorted to their seats. Thank you. Please be seated. Families, friends of families, departments, and guests, welcome to the 23rd Annual Firefighters Memorial Service. My name is Keith Smith. It's my privilege to serve as chairman of the Memorial Foundation. On behalf of the collective board of directors, it's our honor to formally welcome you here this morning to these hallowed grounds. Prior to starting, there are a couple of housekeeping items I want to bring to your attention. Restrooms are located inside the Future Museum. The helicopter was just dispatched to a call, and there will be no flyover this morning. If you're having a medical emergency, have someone next to you stand and wait for assistance. At the conclusion of our service, each line of duty family will receive one of the 10 line of duty flags, my left and right. Those are the yellow and red flags. Someone will be there to retrieve the flag for you. Please wait for that assistance. If you have paid for an American flag, those may also be retrieved. We will have people available to assist with that. Please do not attempt to retrieve your own flag. In a moment, I'll ask you to stand again as the honor guard, led by Commander and Foundation member Tracy Gray, presents the colors, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by retired Fire Chief and Foundation Vice Chairman Kenneth Hoover, and invocation by Nick Farrell, President of the Missouri Chaplains Corps. Following the invocation, the honor guard will exit, and then you may be seated. Please stand. Honor Guard Commander, please post.
Honor guard! Attack! Shoot! Forward! March! Honor guard! Wait! Present! All!
Would you please pledge with me, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order! Out!
Forward. Mark.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, today we remember those who answered the call with courage, compassion, and unwavering dedication. They faced danger without hesitation, placing the safety of others above their own, embodying the highest ideals of service. Their sacrifice is a solemn reminder of the cost of our safety and the true meaning of bravery. May we find comfort in their legacy and strength in the unity of our community. Let us commit ourselves to carrying forward their spirit of selflessness, duty, and love for others. As we reflect on their lives, may we be inspired to walk with purpose and compassion, honoring their memory in all we do. May God grant peace and comfort to the families of those we honor today, and may gratitude fill our hearts for all who serve and protect. Amen. Please be seated. My name is Nick Farrell. I currently serve as president of the Missouri Fire Chaplain Corps. On behalf of the fire chaplains who serve all across the state, it is an honor to be here with you today. Every day, the brave men and women of the fire and EMS service all across our great state protect their communities with bravery, courage, and selflessness. As we honor today those heroes who paid the ultimate price, we cannot ignore the pain and sorrow we may feel. To the families here today, let me speak for all when I express my heartfelt condolences. 2 Corinthians chapter 1 says, "Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort, who comforts us in our time of need." I pray that the God of all comfort may meet you in your time of need. The fire and EMS service is a family. Sometimes dysfunctional, yes, but a family nonetheless. It is this bond of family that gives those who serve the strength they need to go beyond themselves and do the things that are necessary to fulfill their pledge to protect the lives and property of those that they serve. To the brothers and sisters in service of those we honor today, let their sacrifice serve as your strength to continue fulfilling your call to duty. Thank you to the families for your support, which allowed your loved one to serve without fear. The sacrifices you have made for their service are what allowed them to be there when needed. Thank you to the first responders gathered today for your continued service. It is your commitment to the call which allows those in your communities to live in safety and peace, knowing you stand ready in their time of need. And thank you to those who gave it all to help others. In John 15:13 says, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends." Thank you.
Thank you, Honor Guard members, pipes and drums, and Chaplain Farrell. Your Memorial Foundation strives to honor all firefighters who served this great state of Missouri. This year, we pay tribute to 104 firefighters who passed in 2024 and previous. Of the 104 names, 10 gave the ultimate sacrifice, passing in the line of duty. While all loss is difficult and deserving of honor, we pay special honors to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. At this time, members of the Missouri Division of Fire Safety and others will assist in the escorting of helmets to the gear at the ultimate sacrifice wall, representing each of our line of duty desks. Following the placement of the helmets, State Fire Marshal Bean will then escort the unified memorial wreath. It is my privilege this morning to introduce our guest speaker, Fire Chief Russell Hobbs. He is the surviving son of Chief Ricky Hobbs, which we honored for the ultimate sacrifice that he gave 2 years ago. Chief Russell Hobbs has been part of the fire service for 26 years, beginning his journey as a junior firefighter with the Tri-County Fire Protection District in Richland, Missouri. In 2021, after the line of duty passing of his father, Chief Ricky Hobbs, Russell was honored to step into the role of fire chief, continuing the legacy his father had built. Alongside his work in Richland, he also has served for 18 years with the Fort Leonard Wood Fire Department. He holds the rank of station chief and helps protect both military personnel and their families. Chief Hobbs is supported by his wife Danielle and their 2 daughters, Nadia and Elena. His greatest pride is not only serving his community, but also setting an example of dedication, courage, and family values for his children, just as his father did for him. Please join me in welcoming Chief Russell Hobbs, and I'm sure your father is smiling this morning. Sir.
Good morning. We gather here today for a sacred purpose, to honor, to remember, and to carry forward the legacy of Missouri's bravest. Our firefighters who gave their lives as a line of duty, and those who have passed that faithfully served this great state. We come to pay tribute not only to their sacrifice, but to their courage, compassion, and love that define their lives. This service is not just about the names etched in stone, but about the stories behind those names. The laughter shared around the firehouse table, the families who waited through long nights, and the quiet acts of courage that never made the news. Each name represents a life of service, a life dedicated to something greater than self. For me, this service is deeply personal. On September 14th, 2021 at 10:01 a.m., my family's life changed forever. My father, Battalion Chief Ricky Lee Hobbs of the Waynesville Rural Fire Protection District, passed away from COVID-19, a line of duty death that shook not only our family, but 2 departments that he had poured his heart and soul into. He was also the fire chief of Tri-County Fire Protection District in Richland, serving since its founding in 1991. 41 years. 41 years of selfless service, leadership, and devotion to others. He was a mentor to many, a friend to all, and to our family, he was our steady hand, our anchor. When we lost him, it felt like our compass that guided us through life was gone. For 41 years, he had been the one who walked toward danger so others could be safe. As a firefighter, I'm used to fixing things. I'm used to showing up when others are having the worst days of their lives and being able to help. But that day I couldn't. I felt powerless, hopeless. And yet, God placed people in our path that would not let us carry the burden alone. That very afternoon, a gentleman from Supporting Heroes arrived at our door. He told us something I will never forget. He handed a check to my mother that wasn't just financial help. He said, "This is a down payment on a promise. A promise that we would not walk this road by ourselves." Supporting Heroes helped with funeral planning, with benefits, with navigating the maze of grief and paperwork. And most importantly, they promised to stand with us for years to come. And they have. They've been there not just for ceremonies, but in the quiet moments afterwards. Birthdays, anniversaries, the reminders that are not forgotten. When Tri-County lost Lieutenant Richard Blythe in December of 2021, just as I had stepped into my father's shoes as chief, supporting heroes in the Missouri Fire Service Funeral Assistance Team stood with us again. Then in April of 2022, when firefighter Robert Robbie Shockley passed away, they were there once more. 3 heartbreaking losses in 7 months. And at every step, we were not alone. It's not just organizations, it was people. Fire Marshal Tim Bean, he called me every time we lost a brother. And every time he asked the same simple but powerful questions. What do you need? What can I do? And how are you? Those questions, that care, meant more than I could express. Then there's my friend Brian Zanani. I met Brian at my dad's service. He shook my hand and said, "We're here for you." And he meant that. Since that day, Brian has walked with my family, checked in, helped with paperwork, traveled with us to memorials, making sure we knew we weren't forgotten. Friends, that's what hope looks like. Hope is not abstract. It's not a word we toss around lightly. Hope has a name, a face, a presence. Hope showed up on my front porch. Hope sat beside me during funeral services. Hope stood with us at state and national memorials. And hope continues to stand with every family represented here today. That's what the Missouri Firefighter Memorial Foundation means. That's what your work, your donations, your dedication makes possible. You don't just honor the fallen, you lift up the living. You give families like mine the comfort of knowing that when the worst happens, we will not have to walk through the valley alone. And that is a sacred promise, one that echoes the very heart of the fire service. Because the call to service never ends. The bond between firefighters, between families, between communities, it endures. We take care of our own. We stand together through the storm, through the loss, through the rebuilding. When one of us falls, the rest step forward. When one family grieves, we all grieve. And we all help carry that grief. That's what makes the fire service not just a profession, but a family. Today, the family grows even larger as we remember more heroes whose names will forever be added to these walls of honor. Brave souls who serve their communities with courage and compassion. Unfortunately, I didn't have the honor of meeting these great men, but I took the time to learn about their lives and the wonderful things people had to say about them. Assistant Chief Matthew Tobin of the Boone County Fire Protection District, a leader who inspired others through his strength, humility, and fierce devotion to his team. Captain James Kova of the Afton Fire Protection District, known for his professionalism, warmth, and humor, and for the way he treated everyone he met as a friend. Firefighter William Nix of the Thomasville Volunteer Fire Department, a man of deep community roots who embodied what it means to serve your neighbors. Captain Christopher Clevenger of the West Central Missouri Fire Protection District, a respected leader and mentor whose kindness and quiet strength left a lasting mark. Captain Vernon Collett of the Johnson County Fire Protection District, a veteran firefighter who modeled courage and consistency, always steady in the face of chaos. Deputy Chief Donald Kemerick of the Pilot Grove Area Fire Protection District, a man of faith, integrity, and purpose. He believed service was a calling, and he lived that calling every day of his life. Firefighter paramedic Graham Hoffman of the Kansas City Fire Department. His compassion extended far beyond the fire ground, bringing care and comfort to countless people in their hardest moments. Firefighter EMT Matthew Schaefer of Lawson Fire Rescue, remembered for his sense of humor, his big heart, and his deep love for his brothers and sisters in the service. Firefighter Larry Harlan of the Jonesburg High Hill Fire Protection District, a dedicated volunteer whose humility and loyalty made him a pillar in his community. And Captain Marcus Maggard of the Jadwin Volunteer Fire Department, a leader who gave everything he had to his department and his town. He leaves behind a legacy of service, honor, and compassion. Each of these names carries with it a story. A family, a department, a community forever changed. And yet, even in loss, we find something powerful. The reminder that the fire service is bound by love, by duty, and by faith. These men gave their time, their strength, and ultimately their lives so that others might live. We'll remember them not just for how they died, but for how they lived. To the families of the fallen heroes, and to the families gathered here today, you are not alone. Your loved ones' courage, laughter, and love continues to ripple through the lives of everyone they touched. Every time a firefighter answers a call, a part of their legacy goes with them. And every time a life is saved, their story continues. Your strength inspires us. Your love reminds us why we serve. As I look out over this gathering, I see more than sorrow. I see gratitude. I see resilience. And I see hope. Hope that the brotherhood and sisterhood of firefighters is alive and strong. Hope that every family here knows you are not forgotten. Hope that the memory of those we've lost will continue to guide us. And I see something else, a promise. A promise that the spirit of service, the spirit of selflessness, will continue through us as we carry their torch forward. So let us leave here today renewing our commitment to honor the fallen, not just with words, but with action. Let us serve with the same courage, compassion, and love that they did. Let us be the hands that lift others up, the shoulders that carry the weight, and the hearts that never forget. Because the greatest tribute we can offer is not in stone, but in service. Not just in mourning, but in living. Living the kind of life they would be proud of. On behalf of my family, in the memory of my father, Chief Ricky Lee Hobbs, thank you for giving us hope. Thank you for keeping the flame alive. And thank you for proving day after day that the fire service is more than a job. It's a calling, a commitment, a family. May God bless the families of the fallen. May God bless the Missouri Firefighter Memorial Foundation, and may God bless each of you as you continue to serve, to remember, and to bring hope where it's needed most. Thank you.
We are fortunate to be joined this morning by Missouri Department of Public Safety Director Mark James. Director James is a sixth-generation Missourian who was born and raised on a farm in Willow Springs. He has served this state in our country for over 4 decades, starting as a Missouri State Highway Patrol Trooper, then Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. As Chancellor of the Metropolitan Community College in Kansas City, as U.S. Marshal of the Western District of Missouri, and he previously served as the Director of Public Safety from 2005 to 2009 during Governor Matt Blunt's administration. Director James retired from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, where his service included creating ATF's Intelligence Division and then serving as chief of that division. He worked extensively with the Missouri Fire Service when he was ATF Special Agent in charge of the Kansas City Field Division. He is a strong ally of the Missouri Fire Service and understands the importance of the Fire Service in our state. Director James, welcome. It's our honor to have you with us this morning. We look forward to your remarks and reading of the Governor's proclamation that will be presented to each line of duty family. Please join me in welcoming Missouri Director of Public Safety, Mark James.
Thank you, Chairman Smith. It is my honor to be here this morning and join you in this memorial service. It is said we can learn a great deal about a society by the way it honors its fallen and the respect it shows their survivors. The time and attention to the fire service devotes to this annual memorial reflects your understanding and appreciation of the contributions of each and every member of the fire service. This understanding isn't abstract, but it's hard-earned. Your experiences on the front lines have taught you that each individual is critical to the fire service's mission. You know that there will be times when you will depend on your brother and sister firefighter to protect your life. That is a level of trust few professions know about. And through your years of service, many of you have lost friends and colleagues. The firefighters we honor today lived vibrant lives. They loved their spouses, cherished their children, and were fully engaged in their communities. Yet they were willing to risk all that they possessed in their own lives to protect people they had never met. They answered a calling and committed to serve as protectors and guardians. And they renewed that commitment each time they answered the alarm bell. Their heroism and honorable service is now part of the legacy of Missouri's fire service, one which has been established over generations. We are moved by their courageous service, and we stand with their survivors. Governor Kehoe has proclaimed today as Fire Service Memorial Day and called special attention to those who paid the ultimate price for their service over the last year. The governor and I also extend our appreciation to the surviving family members and friends whose lives will never be the same. I will now share Governor Kehoe's proclamation, which reads, whereas Missouri's fire service includes more than 22,000 brave firefighters serving in over 800 career and volunteer agencies who are selflessly dedicated to protecting their fellow citizens. And whereas Missourians owe an enormous debt of gratitude to these firefighters who bravely risk their own lives to protect their fellow citizens and their property, not only from fires, but in response to vehicle crashes, hazardous materials, incidents, natural disasters, and other emergencies. And whereas, since the early 19th century, Missouri's fire service has lost more than 400 members who have been recognized by the board of the Firefighters Memorial Foundation of Missouri as having died in the line of duty, including 10 whom the board has recently recognized. And whereas these deaths demonstrate the willingness of Missouri's firefighters to lay down their lives to serve and protect their fellow citizens, and whereas Missourians honor the courage and sacrifices of the members of the fire service, and continue to remember all devoted firefighters who gave their lives while protecting others. Now, therefore, I, Mike Kehoe, Governor of the State of Missouri, do hereby proclaim October 5th, 2025 to be Fire Service Memorial Day in Missouri, and call upon all Missourians to remember and give special tribute to these firefighters recently recognized by the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation as having died in the line of duty. Assistant Chief Matthew Tobin, Boone County Fire District, July 8th, 2024. Captain James Cava, Afton Fire Protection District, July 9, 2024. Firefighter William Nix, Thomasville Volunteer Fire Department, January 16, 2025. Captain Christopher Clevenger, West Central Missouri Fire Protection District of Saline and Pettis Counties, January 26, 2025. Captain Vernon Collett, Johnson County Fire Protection District, March 8, 2025. Deputy Chief Donald Camerick, Pilot Grove Area Fire Protection District, March 10, 2025. Firefighter, Paramedic Graham Hoffman, Kansas City Fire Department, April 27, 2025. Firefighter, EMT Matthew Schaefer, Lawson Fire and Rescue Protection District, August 26, 2021. And Captain Marcus Maggard, Jadwin Volunteer Fire Department, January 6, 2022. Firefighter Larry Harlan, Jonesburg Hill, High Hill Fire Protection District, August 26, 2021. For their selfless contributions to the state of Missouri, in testimony whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused it to be affixed, the great seal of the state of Missouri, in the city of Jefferson, this 15th day of September 2025, signed Governor Mike Kehoe.
For those of you who may not know, the fire service from the beginning has been closely associated with the ringing of a bell. As they began their tour, it was the bell that started their shift. Throughout the day and night, they were called to service by the ringing of a bell. And when the call ended, it was a toll of the bell that rang to signal completion of the call. It was also the toll of the bell 3 times, which indicated that someone would not be coming home. Today we will toll the line of duty bell 3 times in honor of each of our fallen, signifying their duties are complete, a job very well done, and we will take it from here. The names of those who died in the line of duty will be read by Sherwood Smith, Missouri State Council of Firefighters and Foundation Board member. The bell will be tolled by Harriet Boucher, Fire Service survivor and Foundation Board member. To the families of our line of duty heroes, as your family name is called, we ask that you stand and remain standing for the toll of the bell. Then your family or representative will be asked to step into the center aisle. At that time, representatives will come to you and provide your family with some commemorative items. For the families on the front row, just remain standing. Okay, folks?
Will the Schaefer family please stand? Matthew D. Schaefer, Lawson Fire and Rescue Protection District. Will the Harlan family please stand? Larry E. Harlan, Jonesburg High Hill Fire Protection District. Will the Maggard family please stand? Marcus Eugene Maggard, Jedwin Volunteer Fire Department. Will the Tobin family please stand? Matthew Lawrence Tobin, Boone County Fire Protection District. Will the Kova family please stand? James Kova, Afton Fire Protection District. Will the Nix family please stand? William Nix, Thomasville Volunteer Fire Department. Will the Clevenger family please stand? Christopher Michael Clevenger, West Central Fire Protection District of Saline and Pettis Counties. Will the Collette family please stand? Vernon Kent Collette, Johnson County Fire Protection District. Will the Camrick family please stand? Donald Raymond Camrick, Pilot Grove Area Fire Protection District. Will the Hoffman family please stand? Graham J. Hoffman, Kansas City Fire Department.
We will now have the reading of the names of those who are being recognized for their service. Each name will be read with one toll of the fire service bell recognizing their service. Doc Chrysler will read the first group of names with Janet Kane will toll the bell. Bill Albus will read the second group of names and Don Wilmisher will toll the bell. All four of these individuals are Foundation board members. Okay, Doc, Janet.
Richard Lee Adams, Chesterfield Fire Protection District, now Monarch Fire Protection District. Larry Logan Albert Sr., Carrollton Fire Department. David Wayne Amalunk, Fruitland Area and Gordonville Fire Protection District. Melvin Albert Barks Sr., West Plains Fire Department. Michael Joseph Barnes Sr., St. Louis Fire Department. Tucker Lawrence Berry, Reddings Mill and Lockwood Fire Protection District. Sherman Lee Blackwell, O'Fallon Fire Protection District. Christopher William Bledsoe, New Melic Fire Protection District. Blake Edward Bowers, Lanton Volunteer Fire Department. Kyle Brinker, Kansas City Fire Department. Erman L. Call, Columbia Fire Department and Boone County Fire Protection District. William Dale Carroll, Union Fire Protection District. Michael Paul Chilovich, Union Fire Protection District. Timothy M. Clancy, Florissant Valley Fire Protection District. Dustin Shane Colbert, Lilburn Volunteer Fire Department. Daryl Arley Delameter, Mercer County Fire Protection District. Herman Kurt Denkler, Belton Fire Department. Ronald Derry, Western Taney County and Branson Fire Department. Berlin Lloyd Dudley, Bowles Fire Protection District. Michael Lee Dunn, Harrisonville, Missouri, and concluding at St. George's, Louisiana. Owen Dell Elliott, El Dorado Springs Fire Department. Dennis E. Firth, Cowgill Fire Protection District. Roy Allen Frisbee, U.S. Air Force and 4 bases. David Emil Fromme, Holt Summit and Osage Fire Protection District. Eugene Robert Gilman, Cedar Hill Fire Protection District. Charles Edward Goodhead, Central Crossing Fire Protection District. Cameron Dion Groner, South Callaway Fire Protection District. Sam Lehman Gunter, Pomona Fire Protection District. William Clifford Haggard, Herculaneum Fire Department. James Howard Haley, Sykeston Department of Public Safety. Thomas Edward Harris, Farmington Fire Department. Ronald David Haynes, Cedar Hill Fire Protection District. John N. Henderson, Creve Coeur Fire Protection District. Jeffrey David Hendren, Orchard Farm Fire Protection District. Maurice E. Hillerman, Washington Volunteer Fire Company. Scott Christopher Helms, Ebenezer Fire and Rescue. Clay Aaron Hodge Sr., Bowles Fire Protection District. Lisa C. Horn, Washington Volunteer Fire Company. Scott D. Jones, Creve Coeur Fire Protection District. Gary Kilb, Cedar Hill Fire Protection District. Charles E. King, Ozark Fire Protection District. Nolan Reed King, Pleasant Valley Fire Protection District. Isaac Keith Lashley, Washington Volunteer Fire Company. Stephen Allen Long, Pleasant Hill Fire Protection District. Thomas Lyle Loy, Lee Summit Fire Department. Mark E. Manson, Hazelwood Fire Department. Gene Edward Martin, Lee Summit Fire Department.
David Mathis, Osage Beach and Lake Ozark Fire Protection District. Ron McCabe Jr., Valley Park Fire Protection District. Chris Andrew McCarty, Hurtland Volunteer Fire Department. Alan McLean, Rock Community Fire Protection District. John Robert McGarry, St. Joseph Fire Department. Joyce Lee Porter McNeil, Morrow Fire Protection District. Ryland Samuel Meek, North Bollinger County Fire Protection District. Jesse David Miller, North Central Carroll Fire Protection District. William J. Modrisic, Springfield Fire Department. John J. Moody Jr., Community Fire Protection District. Delbert Milton Murray, Ava Rural Fire Department. Stanley Paul Newsom Sr., St. Louis Fire Department. Ronald W. Neiman, Wright City Fire Protection District. Randall R. Norman, Monarch Fire Protection District, Shrewsbury Fire Department, and Eldridge Volunteer Fire Department. Robert E. Northcott, Sunrise Beach and Gravois Mill Fire Department. Jackie Lee Odell, Orrick Fire Protection District. Stephen W. Parks, Clinton Fire Department. Macavis Pebbles Sr., Kenlock Fire Protection District. Carolyn Y. Mitchell Pegee, Kansas City Fire Department. David Eugene Paley, Union Fire Protection District. Robert M. Petrovic, Afton and Cedar Hill Fire Protection Districts. Albert Henry Price, Osage Beach Fire Protection District. Michael Gary Prophet, Tipton Fire Department. Rye Bill Quick, New Haven Berger Fire Protection District. William Leon Reese, DeKalb Fire Protection District. Donald Keith Rogers, Chillicothe, Lexington, and Bramer Fire Department. Tom Wayne Roof, Dent County Fire Protection District. Stephen Gerald Sandman, Liberty Fire Department. Edmund Schultz, Midway Fire Protection District. Stephen Edward Sexton, Jennings, Riverview Fire Protection District. John Lowell Sempers, Western Taney County Fire Protection District. Richard James Smith, Osage Beach Fire Protection District. Anthony John Lowell Sempers, Western Taney County Fire Protection District. Stephen Anthony Smith, Scott County Rural, Morehouse, and Minor Fire Departments. James Stanley Sneedy, Gerald Rosebud Fire Protection District. Joshua Edward Staley, Kennett Fire Department. John William Stewart, Metro North Fire Protection District. William Thomas Stewart, Excelsior Springs Fire Department. Alan Tomier, Farmington Fire Department. Gary Wayne Tolliver, Hannibal Rural Fire Department. Glenn Edward Trenum, Rover Volunteer Fire Department. Michael Robert Walden, Osage Beach Fire Protection District. William Neal Weber, Cedar Hills Fire Protection District. Charles Whitteman, Hannibal Rural Fire Department. Stephen Edwards Winters, Ladue Fire Department. Timothy G. Wolf, St. Louis Fire Department. Edward Eugene Young, Mound City Rural Fire Protection District. Jeff Zaring, Centralia Fire Department.
That it?
This concludes our 2025 memorial services. It is our hope that we provided a fitting tribute in recognition of your firefighter. We invite you to spend as much time as you'd like within these hallowed grounds. Remember, a reminder for each of our line of duty families with flags. Someone will assist, and same for the American flags. On behalf of the foundation, thank you for your attendance today. We wish you safe travels home. We stand adjourned until October 3rd and October 4th of 2026. Godspeed.